What up YouTube, it's Misery's Company. In this video, I want to talk about how to gain CR or power as fast as possible in Diablo Immortal after the most recent update. This has come very widely recommended and requested by many of you, so I hope you enjoy the video. These are 5 free-to-play ways, no pay-to-win, truly free-to-play ways of gaining combat rating as fast as possible to help you get to Inferno or to help push you to the next higher difficulty or maybe do a little bit better with your PvE group or even in PvP. So without further ado, let's get straight to the video. So while we're talking about power, I do want to go ahead and say I finally hit Paragon level 801, 800 in general, where I did unlock the additional 2 slots, and I was able, by doing so, to get the additional higher resonance. So I finally got my 3K wings, and I gotta say, they look sick. While we talk about the 5 free ways of gaining power, now that we've covered pay to win, I want to talk about challenge rifts. So with the new Inferno difficulty, it is so much easier to find carries in the challenge rifts. So once you get to Inferno or 800 and then do the necessary requirements, you can go beyond 300. But prior to that, 300 was the cap, and you get a ton of these upgrade materials by doing so. And so many people can fly through level 300 now, and many of us were, prior to getting to Paragon level 800, were nowhere near it. I want to say I saw most people that were around like 380s, 385s, maybe even 395 at the absolute highest. So go ahead and get someone who is level 800 plus Paragon level to run you through a challenge rift. It is super quick, and I guarantee you'll find people that are willing to do it. I'm personally willing to do it, and I'm not even that big of a whale at all in the game. So this will help you upgrade your substats, well, your set items on your secondary gear, and then once you get into Inferno, you can actually max them out. Level 15 is the highest, so I'm actually kind of a double tip here, if you will. So I very well could do the next 5 or even 10 levels of these, but I'm actually saving them because I want to, I'm currently past the Paragon, Server Paragon. So I'm getting a nerf to my XP, and with the changes to Server Paragon, it's only going up by 10 every week. So tomorrow we will get additional 10 levels, so I will get a boost in XP. So I don't want to waste this XP that I would be getting by doing these challenge rifts until after I get that bonus XP literally tomorrow. Now, if I was trying to push for whatever reason to get higher, and I needed that XP right now, then I would do so. So if you're pushing in order to get to level 800, then this is a really good option as well, because you do get a ton of XP on increments of 5. So you can see the difference between a non-5 interval and a 5 interval. You do get that orange XP compared to like that rare one. So it's more like legendary compared to rare. But that is a phenomenal way of getting both XP as well as combat rating that will just boost you to the next step. Now, number 2 on this list is going to be prioritizing your legendary gear. So combat rating is now a main stat that you can actually see on all legendary items. However, combat rating can be higher even though it's not a triple stat roll. In fact, I've gotten some upgrades like this one. Wow, this is a great transition. Where I had a triple stat roll and instead found a new one that was double stat, but the combat rating was almost 100 combat rating higher. So I was like, wow, okay, sure, definitely want to do that. So make sure you are really min-maxing the combat rating until you get to Inferno, and that's when the substats are going to matter more once you have the adequate combat rating. So then you can really min-max your builds to get more damage or substats out of them. But until then, all you need is combat rating in order to help get you to Inferno. So that's going to be another way of doing it. Just really read your farmable legendaries that you get. Now, a second, like a 2.5, if you will, or 2.1 tip on this is that hold off on doing your gambling, your rarities and antiques until after your daily farming for the day. Reason being, the higher you get in Paragon level, even though you might not get to 800, the farther you get for the day after you've done all your grinding, then go ahead and do your gambles. That way you have a higher chance of getting a better legendary. Because remember, legendaries grow with your Paragon level, whereas the set gear goes with your Inferno level or your Hell difficulty level. So let's say you were to be farming and you're getting that boost in XP because you're below Server Paragon, you fly up like, let's say 10 levels by just doing a ton of grinding today on a Sunday. And well, by the time you see this, it'll be Monday, but whatever. And then you do your rarities and antiques. There's a higher percent chance of you getting a better piece of gear when you do get a legendary from that. So make sure you do that. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on that tip. Now, number 3 is going to be keeping up with your warband activities. I have been preaching the importance of keeping up with your warband activities for 2 reasons. So your ancestral properties from your tableau, these are actually straight up combat rating bonuses that you're going to be getting from these. So make sure you are doing these. You can upgrade this several times, usually at least 2 times a week if you're doing all of your warband activities, maybe even more depending on how active your warband is. Now, as such, you can't be talking about warbands without talking about raids, because they do go hand in hand. Now you did get also a change to our demonic remains, so you can also see the combat rating compared to the attributes. So you can actually see the increase in combat rating between different ones. So this one actually is a really good example. I have a little bit higher willpower, and this one has intellect instead of, or intelligence instead of fortitude. So generally I would want this, but it is a 9 combat rating difference. So again, I was min-maxing my build. This is what I wanted to get higher combat rating. Now that I have it, this is why I kept it. In case I want to go and switch back to this, I could, but I would lose that 9 combat rating. But this is again another way of really min-maxing your build to push combat rating at the cost of attributes for at least the temporary, ideally not long-term. Hold on to the better attributes until you get better upgrades, until you hit the difficulty that you're aiming for. Because again, we have a lot of new players coming to the game, so this is both for new and old players. Not old isn't literally, but in addition to the demonic remains, you're also going to be able to upgrade your actual Heliquary as a whole. As you can see, I'm at 670 of the Void Blood slags. So our raids tonight, by the time you see this video, I should be able to upgrade this to level 43. And it'll be a nice little jump up in combat rating there as well. And I absolutely love it, because it's actually so much faster once you get like through the milestones. Like 40 was just a massive one, it required a ton, and then now it's much lower. So next up on the list is going to be legendary gems. Now, I said this was a free-to-play way of increasing combat rating, and I want to stay to that point. So if you are a free-to-play player, when it comes to your legendary gems, just because it's a 5-star and it gives you a boost of 30, if you cannot upgrade that by either the magic dust that's necessary, or just having the necessary gems to get more of the 5-star gems, then don't do it. We have some phenomenal, and I mean truly phenomenal 2-star legendary gems, one of which you're getting just showered with if you're playing this game recently, is Mother's Lament. I don't know which way to say it. I should probably look that up. But anyway, or correct me in the comments below. But yeah, so anyway, so this is a phenomenal gem for most players. It is a ton of crit chance that you get, which will make you just do stupid damage, and it's super easy to proc, and the cooldown is relatively low at 20 seconds. It's really just a win all the way around. Another one that is super good at a 2-star is Pain Clasp. Now, the reason I'm suggesting 2-star gems instead of just 1-star gems is because when you do your challenge rifts, you actually have the ability of crafting, not challenge rift, I'm sorry, but your elder rifts, you do get these the AT runes as well as the fading embers. You can see it, and you also should be doing this because it's another way of getting additional either eternal legendary crest or other gems that you're looking for. But you can actually I missed it. So if you do get these AST runes, and you can see it costs 80 for the 2-star gems, and that's how you can get some additional 2-star legendary gems for basically free, because you get these rare crests for basically anything and everything in the game. So it's sort of like a double dipping when you run your Elder Rift. So that's another tip for you, is that your legendary gems, especially the 2-stars, are super farmable. Another good one, which is going to be, your favorite Fang, which is going to be kind of controversial right now since they removed it temporarily, hopefully, from the battle pass. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm actually already working on my own mothers. And I only have it at level 6, but I'm working to get it to ideally rank 10, because once you get it to rank 10, you can then ascend it, or awaken it, if you will, and you put additional gems in it for a much smaller amount of resonance from a gem value there, but at least you're getting more resonance past what a capped 10-star legendary gem is. So that's going to be my 4th tip for you guys. Make sure you're prioritizing the gems that are upgradable for you, not necessarily the ones that I'm using or that someone else is using. Whatever your playstyle is, your spending, or whatever it is you want to assess in the game, make sure it makes sense for your account, because every account is going to be different. Now, if you do have questions about what you should be focusing on in terms of 2-star gems outside the 2 that I have mentioned, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll even do a video to kind of elaborate on that for you. I'd be happy to do that for you guys if there's interest in doing so. Moving on, you do want to just make sure you're grinding in general, because you do get combat rating for upgrading your main slots here for gear. Your head, your main hand, and offhand is all going to give you additional combat rating when you upgrade these. You obviously can see I'm 21, 20, and then 19, and then these little baby ones that I just got from Inferno 1 I'm still working on, but you do get additional combat rating for these as well. So make sure you're playing accordingly until you get to Inferno, and grind, because that'll help you get legendaries that are ideally higher in combat rating, as well as the fodder necessary to upgrade upgrade your main stats here. And as doing so, you just really, I know this just sounds like I'm just saying, well, play the game. Well, yeah, you do want to play the game to get better gear. That's how this game works. But hopefully these tips in this video have shared that it's not just playing the game. You really need to prioritize what you're doing and when you get it, and really looking at the gear for what you're trying to do at that time. If you're focusing on combat rating, make sure you're prioritizing the combat rating and following the green arrows, if you will. But if you really want to min-max your account and do more damage and make your whole account stronger, and you don't need combat rating as much, that's when you focus on the attributes and don't necessarily worry about the green arrows, because green arrows are only going to point you to higher combat rating, which is good at times, but not necessarily good all the time. I hope that helps, guys. But yeah, so with the changes, you're also much likely to get better legendary gems from just grinding the overworld, so that is a phenomenal way of doing it as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What is your current combat rating? If you want to see mine, if you're curious about it, I am sitting at 18,977. To give you an idea of how fast I'm still gaining combat rating even without the additional slots, I was at 18, I want to say like 1800 or 18,000 rather, earlier today. Did a bunch of grinding, got some upgrades, some good legendary gems. This is the massive upgrade here, is the pants and the hands. You can see over 1100 and then 1000 or another 1100 combat rating there, where compared to what it was in the 890 range. So yeah, 200 combat rating there for each of these. And that's obviously because I'm in Inferno 1. So once you get to Inferno, all this just gets that much easier by farming combat rating, because you're going to be getting higher percent chances of getting higher combat rating gear, and the set items are a massive boost. So that's why you see people like 20k combat rating, 21k combat rating. It's super obtainable if you're doing everything I mentioned in this video and farming and prioritizing your account accordingly. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and until next time, guys, lock it in.